motion to approve the minutes for our last meeting.
Second, Stephanie next.
The motion is seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any against? They are approved. Next thing on the agenda is training with the Robert Rule of Order.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Okay, everybody hear? Okay. Well, thank you. Did you all get this packet? Okay. Credit to Deputy Attorney Chair Dave Rapp has provided it, prepared it recently. It's just a general. I'm happy to talk about this. Already been doing it well. Generally, just a process, a framework, a set of policies, process to help your meeting go smoothly. One, it allows one to speak. Orderly discussion of many voices in a process based on one subject at a time through a series of motions. So that's the genesis of it. It goes way back to Roman time. Early Roman were governed by some form of parliamentary procedure. Modern parliamentary procedures, we think about it, came from the British Parliament that was brought over to this country years ago, and it is developed. There is no one set of parliamentary rules. Many people think Robert's Rules of Order. That is a very common one. The entire set of Robert's Rules is this thick. We have never, as a city, adopted the entire book of Robert's Rules. The city council has adopted by ordinance modified Robert's Rules of Order, or modified rules. They can go deeper than they do, but they have a series of chapters of the city code, the city council. Again, these are just a framework. They're a process. They are not law. You can't deviate from the rules of your order as you adopt them. You as a board have not really adopted them formally. You do that when reviews were done by law. Yeah, you can do that through bylaws. You want to say we hereby adopt the city's form of parliamentary procedures. You can say we want to do this, but not this. Until then, I would just say when the city council follows is the general. Gives you some framework, orderly discussion, all voices can be heard. That's kind of what it's about. So just go through this book real quick. There is a sample agenda. It doesn't have to be followed, but just kind of gives you an idea of how city committees are designed to have an agenda. We as a city, because we're not like a private entity, we have a public comment period, and that public comment period is not required by so congratulations. Then just getting on to the next one, motions, page 8, section 3. That's what we think of when we think of parliamentary procedure. The motion is a mechanism, a way to forward business, to make a decision. Motions can be a variety of things. I won't read those for you, but I think it's self-explanatory. Really, in almost any parliamentary procedure, we want to have a motion, and then we have a second, and then we have discussion, and then we have a vote. That motion in a second allows at least 2 people to be worthy of discussion. It protects the that can be informal or not. Once the motion is open for discussion, who should have the first chance to speak about it. That's again just a courtesy. It doesn't have to be followed that way. The motion can be changed with a motion to amend or substitute motion. And the city ordinances, we have more substitute motions. That's what the council does sometimes. I move to make a substitute motion to adopt a budget for less money. So then the substitute motion is voted on. Make a motion to amend. They're very similar. Like a motion second, and then you make a motion. I'd like to amend that motion gets voted on. That's how it works. So anything that gets disposed of takes care of that. If it fails, then it goes back. You won't have seen that action. So about quorum, our ordinance needs to be clarified that the quorum is always the number one more than half of all the positions on the board, whether they are vacant. Decision in the debate or discussion, then I think our actions could be scrutinized or called into question. Okay, page 11. I won't read that to you. I think it's pretty clear. You've been voting on things for years. You all know how this works. Page 12 talks about decorum. Also, the city council has specific ordinances for decorum. The general conduct is you can have a hearty debate, you can have robust comment. You have an interest in share. Always come prepared, and it does make things a little bit faster than materials. Page 13, there's your quick reference guide. I've done this for a long time as well. I won't read through that. Elections from the floor. This is something we do by ordinance. We can do it a couple different ways. You've just gone through it, so I won't repeat this. Our ordinance really dictates how you have these elections from your own officers. Committees. You have committees right now. You have your small subcommittee to review PSP files. That works well. You can have temporary committees or standing committees. It's up to you. And then the last couple pages are about just general Kansas Open Meeting Act information. This is from the State of Kansas Attorney General's website. This is just straight out of the state website. So that's just general information that is good to refresh your memory on at any time. That's all I have today, and I'm happy to answer questions, but this is easy because you're a board that functions, you've been doing this, I don't see any problems. And if I ever see a problem, I'll probably tap the chair and say we just need to make an adjustment. So if you have any questions or thoughts or improvements, you can certainly let me know. Thank you for your time, thank you for, sorry that Faith is not here because she's the one I think you asked for this. All right, with that, I'll turn it back over to the chair.
Thank you. I'll let Faith get settled in and I'll turn it over to her. But at this time, are there any questions for Jennifer?
This is a great resource built on a lot of trainings that the city's been doing recently for district advisory boards. So I really appreciate this.
Well, our vice chair is in. We were moving to the public agenda, so I'll turn it over to you.
First, I'd like to give my apologies for being late. I did call 911 because there's some problem at the baseball stadium, so. And Odell can't be here tonight because his kids is graduating, so I want to share that with us. I'm so sorry. We're on, what'd you say, public agenda?
Public, yes.
Do we have to approve the agenda? I was gonna say, have we approved minutes or agenda?
We did minutes.
Okay, then we need to approve the agenda. Everybody can review the agenda. Is there any discussion? I entertain a motion to approve. Any seconds? Okay, Joshua, motion to approve, Timothy seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. All right, public agenda. Thank you.
There's nobody on the list at this time.
Nobody signed up? Okay. Is there anyone that would like to speak on the public agenda that did not sign up? Okay, excellent. Then we'll move on to new business. Thank you to Shanita for emailing out the agenda. Did everyone get a chance to review the cases and want to get some time to look at it now if you didn't get a chance to look at it earlier? Are there any board members that want a case reviewed?
This is Kevin Cole.
I was just gonna write down the case numbers first.
No, that's fine. I'm sorry. Just because I have some things to mention to before I just don't know what time.
Is that the emails?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we can do that at the end of this,
Okay.
during the business. I do have two. I'd like to ask the board for approval to bring forward 25 PSB 1103, which is the very first line, and 2277, which is 3 lines from the bottom. They're both use of force. And I've committed to bringing forward the use of force and racial profiling cases. And I'll put that in a motion. Is there a second? All in favor of 1103 and 2277 adding to the list, say aye. Any nays? Okay. Are there any other numbers anyone would like to bring forth? All right. Is there any public comment on the case review? Excellent. And I know Gregory has done a great job of handling emails to the CRB, and there was a couple emails I think you wanted to bring forward today.
Yes, couple of things that I'm trying to look in my email. First and foremost, I've received three different, two emails and one verbal comment. They wanted to bring, different individuals wanted to bring forward. First one is from a citizen who just wants to make a recommendation. From District 1, the email says in summary that they have a proposal for Wichita Police Department. So it says officers encounter individuals in a state of undress, ranges from suspects with mental health to sexual assault. And so they believe that their recommendation is that officers can keep clothing in their cars, such as inexpensive, one-size-fits-all, lightweight, gender-neutral, and modest, like extra large pair of cotton drawstring pants and extra large t-shirts, like an emergency rain poncho and a pair of flip-flops, just to kind of help cover up citizens throughout those traffic stops and throughout those stops. The email says that about $15 per encounter. This is less than half the cost of a taser cartridge, and a tiny fraction of the expense of false sexual and other stuff in their email as well. So it was a recommendation that they wanted to bring forward. They want the board's help, but I figured it's something that I can just simply say out loud as a recommendation publicly for the.
I like the story that she gave as an example, which I think the board may want to hear unless you already read the email. She said, recently I witnessed officers chasing and arresting a topless and or nude female suspect. She remained naked on the sidewalk for quite a while, which made the person emailing think that they felt vulnerable and unsafe and that the officers may have felt the same. And she overheard them asking, where are your clothes? And she thought a better question would be, could you please put this on? So I know from a equipment perspective, it may be difficult to keep unisex clothes, but I know sometimes officers, there were toy drives in the past where officers would give children in a situation a stuffed animal for comfort when something's happening. I would see this as no different, just to keep something. It could even be just like a wrap or an emergency
I was
blanket.
thinking more, and I mean, one, is there a budget for this? There's a lot that goes into it for the city. I think that an article of clothing would be great. However, it is difficult to find different sizes that are appropriate for everybody. If it's a matter of providing an individual the opportunity to be covered during a police encounter, I wonder if like paper clothing, while it may not be sustainable for a long period of time, would provide the modesty and also allow the officer to not have a lot of bulky items in the car. And so what I'm thinking of is like female mammograms, the vests, and make pants, that might be an option too.
They have tie-back suits that work really well.
And I'd be interested to know what police officers think about that. I mean, I know that I can think of at least probably 4 encounters I've seen in the last year with naked individuals encountering the police. Just
Would the board be okay with like maybe just asking Captain Cooley to pass this along to, I don't know, the chief or whoever you think might want to do that?
Well, prior to doing so, is there anything already currently in place? I know they said some officers do it and some officers don't. Is there anything already in writing about this before we proceed?
Yeah, so we don't have anything that, says in writing that you're gonna carry clothes or a blanket or whatever in your car, but most of the patrol cars already have all that stuff, whether it's a blanket or our clan suit that we have in there. Some of them have clothing, but not very many, plus a one-size-fits-all. So we did discuss this email internally. We did not discuss like more of the paper route to put that in there. We just discussed it from the clothing route. So we didn't finish the discussion with a resolution, but and we do encounter people who are undressed. It's not as often as you would think, but it does happen as a reality. We don't ever transport them to jail, and that way we find something before we can transport whatever that is, whether it's a family member. Oftentimes we go to Walmart ourselves and just buy something for the individual. So I definitely think probably, and there's not a budget for it, so probably the more applicable discussion would be for the paper suits to have it.
And then also maybe a safety issue if it's a mental health patient who has thoughts of self-harm. Those individuals may not do well with paper offerings in that moment.
Well, but I mean, I know like when people run marathons, they have this, or even out cold, so they have this like really thin, but they wrap around, because I think the blankets might be something to take up a lot of room, but I think you can just hold those up with.
Oh, like the emergency blankets?
So it's just best practice for them to cover up a new person that they're encountering with. It's nothing.
I mean, I guess you could say best practice. It is the practice. I mean, we don't typically just have people sitting around, in a state of undress, or transport them somewhere, or we'll figure out a solution before jail or the hospital, wherever they're going.
It sounds like in this instance, something written or some sort of something provided would have been helpful, since the individual in this story did sit here for a long time.
I mean, it may be an adult making the choice or option to not put an article of clothing on too. I don't know that we can assume people always want to be clothed.
Yeah, and I didn't try and figure out what case this was, and look at video to see what the facts were of it, how long they were out there. So I don't have any of those details either of, was it 10 seconds or was it 2 minutes, or I don't have an answer. So
Can we get a follow-up maybe by the next meeting so that we can reply back to this person, whether or not this is a policy issue, that we can provide some sort of answer to them, like this isn't something that falls under the policy, or this is something that we may look into, or contact your city council person and this is something that's really important to you. I just think we should be able to give some sort of answer besides, hey, we told them.
Not in training, what training do you provide the officers, Drew, with?
We, in the cases like you're talking about, a lot of times that is a mental health case, and we'll call EMS. EMS does care of that stuff. That's one of the first things they'll do is they'll set something off.
Okay, so with the board's approval, I will plan to email Paige, just that way we're not waiting till the next month as well. I will email Paige and let them know that the CRB has passed the recommendation on to the police department for them to further review and come back to us with
Something.
yes.
So let us know if it's something that the board needs to
Okay,
pursue.
yeah.
Were you gonna bring up Mr. Mazhar's case number?
I am not gonna lie to you, I haven't read that email yet.
That's okay, I read it. Mr. Mazar, I hope I'm saying his name right, had asked for us to review his case number. And the board had made it a policy to take those, but I'll go ahead and read it, we can still make a motion. He attached the documents in the email. I'm not gonna go into his entire email, you can read it, but he forwarded us his professional standards case, and it's 25 PSB 2461. I'll make that a motion if there's a second.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay, so 25 PSB 1103, 25 PSB 2277, and 25 PSB 2461 are added to our list.
Now, did the board ever discuss putting citizen requested cases at the top of the list, or is it just added to the list?
I think that was the best practice that we had, that if a citizen brought us a case forward, they jump to the top of the list. So I'll leave it to Captain Bartel and team to figure out if that's something we want to put on next month's agenda or 2 months' agenda. If that works for you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will also take notes I do plan on reading his email. I will respond to invite him to the board to come speak on.
Can we just commit to 2 months? That way you can go through your process and we can notify them that it would be September meeting. Does that work for everybody? That way we give everyone time to do what they need to do.
So email him to come to the, inviting him to the September
Yes.
meeting.
You know?
Generically, this was a foreign student that was arrested and they were not given their belongings, and someone was allowed to visit them. There were 2 different case numbers, and so they didn't get their belongings from the second arrest. And they're making a complaint about that process, and how they wish the department would assist claimers for checking on all properties of cases. So somebody doesn't have to come up for each case number, they can come by person. It's kind of their complaint, so.
There was also an email from, if there was no other discussion about, I can't pronounce, I didn't see that.
Lazar is what I'm saying, I hope that's correct.
There's also an email from another citizen. She has a letter sent to the Wichita Citizens Review Board. I don't know if anybody had time to read that, but her overall concern is about the lack of a 24/7 non-emergency police number for the city of Wichita. Obviously, I can't speak on behalf of emergency communications for 911 in my capacity there, as well as I can't speak for the full board, but it was a recommendation brought forth by a citizen. I can talk to the director, because I've always been encouraged, the director of emergency communications. I've been encouraged to, if there are any citizen complaints, that they can take them up with the director of emergency communications. And this is from a different capacity because I've asked how I'm supposed to address those as a call taker. So I would be happy to forward along Laura Forche's email, but I don't know if it's the police department's control or jurisdiction for non-emergency lines. So if we think that that's, I just need resources that I can email her for her to take up with. The only thing that popped up in my mind was emergency communication.
Which is county, and this would be city
But county handles city calls.
through 911. But like what is the non-emergency line that's set up for fireworks? We have the ability, it's just usually probably because of manpower. For a short determinate period of time, I tend to agree with the person that sent that email. I would have called it non-emergency instead of 911 when I was stuck by the ball speaking about what was happening over there, because it technically wasn't an emergency. I was just trying to inform them of what's going on. So I don't know. I think that again, that falls under recommendation, like should they have paper clothes in their car? Like I don't know if that's police or if that's like city council that needs to know about that. Am I on the right track there?
You are, I just didn't want to interrupt. So, that's already in the works. I've already reached out to, our communications, team. We've already got a phone number established. I tried Googling the number. We do have 2, but it's not crystal clear on which one to call for non-emergency. So we're gonna clean that up, and there'll be one number, that'll take you to an automated system either during business hours or after business hours. Press whatever button you need to wherever you're trying to go, whether it's to make a report or you want to report a traffic light out or whatever it is. And so that's already in the works. We're just creating messaging. You know, we don't want it to be too lengthy of a press whatever button for it. So.
If I could make a suggestion, MABCD has worked really closely with neighborhoods to let them know like when it's a nuisance report that doesn't have anything to do with police, but people just call the police for everything. So you may want to reach out to MABCD and see if they would be one of those numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll probably add multiple different departments on there depending on what the complaint is about. We get a lot of those that people don't want to call 911, and the reality is a lot of them are 911 calls, and the dispatchers will prioritize those. So we always try and get that out, that I understand that you don't want to bother 911 for whatever it is, but that actually is a 911 function. They'll just put it as a low priority and we'll get out there. It's not the case of this person emailing, it was a traffic light out, which isn't a police issue, but we can sure forward it to the engineers and public works, so. But yeah, we plan on having, you'd be able to press to leave the appropriate message for whatever it is. I mean, obviously, we're not gonna be able to tackle every type of complaint, but. And then those messages will go to people's voicemails, which will then go to our emails.
All right, do you want to take the initiative and follow up with her and let her know that something is in the works?
Yeah, with the board's approval, I was going to email Samantha that her recommendation has been sent to the police department. And something will be in the works, and that way, in the event that I do forget to email her back, I was going to also encourage her to check back in September, which is in 2 months, for any updates, giving the department time to put together their own, whatever they're working on. And then the last thing that a citizen has requested me to just bring forward to the board is, I don't know if people have seen a video at the sports forum of a police officer that was pulling a younger individual out by his hoodie. I don't know if they just wanted me to bring it up. I don't know if the police department has already released something regarding it or whatnot. Some people have discussed excessive use of force and whatnot. So I just wanted to put it out there, see if it's something that the police department is looking into or has had discussions about it, just so that publicly I can point them to this, saying that it was brought forward to the board.
And then also, we had the community reaching out to members of the racial profiling board, which reported to me to have that same concern. So there's multiple people that are interested.
So every morning we review different use of force cases, not, this one specific or one specific, but certain ones that we'll pull and we'll review, and we just do that internally ourselves. That was one of them that we did look at, that's being handled with the chief at this point, so.
I haven't seen the video.
I won't email it to you unless you want to see it, but I can email it to you.
Can I pull up now?
Oh,
Will you please encourage, I also encouraged when it was brought to my attention that if someone wanted to make a complaint, that's the best way for this board to get engaged. So you may want to encourage, if they haven't made a complaint, like just saying, we don't like this, we can't step in and do anything.
and that's all that the citizens that I've talked to has asked me to bring forward to the board.
Okay, and the recommended action is to receive and file those policy review recommendations. Does anyone have any policies that they would like to bring forward to put on the agenda in the future for review?
Not any, I think we've got a pretty robust.
I think we do
calendar
too, but
coming
it's on the agenda. If there's nothing here, then we'll go ahead and move on to our policy discussion, overview of racial profiling policy 903 and that report to the Attorney General.
Oh, sorry,
Oh, no, I'm just turning around because I don't know who's talking about that.
for the policy,
Yes.
we'll treat that the same as all the other policies. Back from your review or anything you got from the community on it?
And if anybody needs reference, I emailed the policy to everybody's email. I have an extra printed out copy if you need one.
We didn't get the report to the Attorney General though, in our email.
No, I don't have that.
Okay.
But I had the policy 903 that I emailed to you all. I don't know if I was supposed to have the reports by the Attorney General since you were.
So you can find it on the Attorney General's site, but it is due, it doesn't follow January to like December. Same as our training, it's June 30th is the end and July 1st is the beginning. That's how the Attorney General does it also. So our report just now went in for what they consider is a year. So I can't even say 25 because it's June to July really, if that makes sense. So that report just went in. So I guess we're gonna put them in year categories. 24 is technically uploaded on the Attorney General and previous, but the current last one just got turned in because what they consider a year has just ended, if that makes sense.
It's up there now.
Is it up there?
I just saw it.
Okay, so they must have posted what we got in there, so it must be up.
Can you answer if there were any cases on there?
There were 3. Yeah, 3.
And are those, do you refer those to the AG by PSB number?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the sheet I have, is that how it's on there? Anyone gonna pull it?
I don't have, I'll look at it, 903. What was the question? If it's sent to the Attorney General by PSB number, we can connect our reports with what's being sent to the AG.
It's at 25.
Whatever this is called, I had some old ones and I was trying to connect years to the AG report. And the things that showed as under racial profiling and the things that were submitted to the AG were different. So I'm just trying to connect and make sure that
So that's
whatever's reported is the same that's on
for the summary or for,
because the AG report is a year, June 24 to like July.
Hmm.
So the cases that are reported to the AG, those are the same that are PSB when we say racial profiling has been flagged.
yes, and they do have, so 24 is up there. They do have the PSP numbers on the report.
Okay. Shanita, can you send out the link to that page instead of the report, and then everybody can kind of go in and look at it themselves?
You have it.
Where's the report?
It is on. I don't know how I got to it.
I feel like half the time I'm doing it, it's just a Google search to get there. Fine.
Then on the left, it breaks down the fiscal year. Again, it's what they consider the fiscal year.
So another question about this, if anybody files a complaint through like WPB, that doesn't automatically file a complaint with the AG, that's a separate process that those people have to do on their own.
To get the AG to review it.
I'm just looking at
If
it,
you,
says file a complaint.
yeah, they can file it on their own, but anything that comes through us that has a racial profiling claim, we turn in no matter what.
Okay.
Whether the person goes and submits it on the AG's site or not. So if if their complaint is, I was racially profiled, we're gonna turn that in, no matter what the investigation turns out.
So I don't see the breakdown more in the report. So it doesn't have. You can't look by WP, no, the last time it has the agency submitted reports is 2022.
If you click on the left there, on the fiscal year 24 annual reports, it'll list every city or county, however they're reported. And then just, it's page, I think 17 was where Wichita fell.
It shows, the last one on here is FY 23.
It's gonna be, it's on the one that Julie just sent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one is different.
That took me to the annual report form.
Yeah. And the drop down.
We have to type in every single little thing on each one.
Now you should, I don't know how it's looking on the phone. On the computer, there's just on the left column, it has all the fiscal years all the way back to 2012. Yeah, so on the left there.
It's like just on.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it on my phone, so it looks like
So when you
something.
click on the link, it pulls up the form, but if you click at the top where it says racial and bias based
Yeah, there's.
policy,
Mhm.
then it goes to the form.
We'll get there.
And then that'll take you to like every agency and then just page
Look at that
17.
same page where the
Well,
last.
when it goes to this, each city, there's about,
And you gotta go to page 17.
346 items in that.
Oh, here we go. It's not agreeable from the site.
It's not ideal for us.
You're horrible.
It's on page 17 of each.
Thank you.
17 has Wichita Police Department, 18 has
I got there.
Wichita State.
Look on Wichita County Sheriff Office. Okay. So on the ones that say investigation is continuing. Those were from June of last year. So those two PSVs are on this year's report also then?
I'll have to check on that, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, they don't go back in and update anything, so I'll have to go back and check and see if they get reported. Actually, here, I have it.
I think I found that to be the case when I looked through, that I would see on 1 year an investigation was open, and then nothing was on the next year.
Yeah, so we did not turn in those again because we've already turned them in. I can't answer if the Attorney General carries them over to the next year's report for an update. I'd have to look and compare, but it sounds like you've already done that and they don't carry them over.
Can we find out those two PS notes? I assume they're closed at this point. Can we just get those put on the top of our report next time
For
just to
like
show
an
whatever
update?
that summary is for those? That's okay with everybody? Okay. Yes,
Is this
sir.
a website the public has access to or not?
Oh, yeah, it's just the Attorney General's website. actually, I can just give you that. It was ag.kansas.gov. You should be able to look under, oh shoot, I just got off of it. When you do the drop downs, it'll be like criminal, then public safety, then racial and bias-based policing. Or you could just search racial and bias-based policing when you get onto the website.
Yeah, I searched Kansas Attorney General racial profile and it brought me.
Did anybody get a chance to review policy 903? Or have any questions about 903, or do we want to review it and provide feedback at the next meeting?
It's planning a lot, but I think that even back to a presentation that we got a few months ago, where we got the traffic tickets were disproportionately given to particularly Black Wichitans, and police departments said, well, you don't use the census data because it's inaccurate. You know, there's policy in place, nation is fine, and continue to run up against how it plays out. Video shows some of the experiences that people then have at a not infrequent basis. I guess that's just me getting on a soapbox there, while saying the policy looks good, but it's
So, last month's minutes said that I was gonna follow up with the city manager about his commitment to have an annual report from Dr. Berzer. I've not heard back from the city manager's office yet, so I will follow up again. If I need to have a meeting, I will. Sometime, I'm guessing since he's near the end of his tenure, there may be quite a bit going on at City Hall right now. So I will make a note that I will have an answer about the annual report next meeting, because I think the racial profiling report that like Dr. Chappell and other people have talked about over the years through this meeting may be more tied into the Dr. Berzer report than the actual racial profiling report sent by all of the, based off the statute that every entity, county, and city have to send to the AG. I think that's a different question. You probably don't have any sway, Jennifer, but in case I need your help, I reach out. You're like, oh, please, I can't get a meeting. Okay, is there any further things on the Attorney General report besides asking for those 2 PSVs to go at the top of our report for next month? And the policy 903 that everyone's looked at. All right. Then we will move on to board agenda. Are there any comments or questions? Wasn't added to the agenda, but Stephanie, you want to talk at all about what we sent out, try to get feedback for people, and kind of let you have the floor.
Yeah, so last meeting we reviewed the PowerPoint and then a brief discussion about the script. I was gonna say outline, but the script that goes with it. Ms. Rice was really nice and provided some handouts that you guys had. And so it's really just after a month of thinking about it, is there anything that you guys felt like really needed to be added, that we need to do to enhance it? Because our thought was that we would start with that and then start working on bylaw options.
I thought it was great. I would happily take that to a DAB meeting and do a presentation. I think my only request is that we have some sort of format for people to be able to request our presence. So however we get the word out about that, whether we put it on our flyer or on our webpage, on our CRV page.
Is that an option? Can we add a link that like request an info session?
Yeah, okay. That would be the public asking us instead of us trying to figure out who to talk to, which we still could. We can still split up the DABs and have everybody go to a meeting or
I
whatever.
would say we could put the email address on the page and then they can just email you guys and ask.
Oh, yeah, want some information or wanted, yeah, I think that's a good option. So I will work on having that, and then there was a discussion when we were here last month from a community member who would like to see that posted on the page. And so I don't know if we did a final review, if everyone would feel comfortable having that out there.
I think it's a great idea. I think every resource we can put on that page that helps people learn about what we do and who we are is important.
And making video of the PowerPoint rather than just the PowerPoint.
Oh.
Much more informative and somebody's actually talking them through. Because some of that could be just not, or misinformation if they don't know what they're trying to, what this information is saying.
I like that idea.
If we did note in the minutes for last meeting, a couple of slides that we wanted to add, there was, I think, you had mentioned there's a like tiered system of different citizen review boards and like the most able to take action versus least that I think exists somewhere that would be helpful to have. And then I think I suggested like a split screen of like what we can do, what we cannot do as well, just to really hammer that home of like we cannot punish police officers.
Did I send you that link?
I don't think so, but I could also have missed it. And then I'll also share, I've already volunteered to speak to my dad next month at this presentation. So, and I'll be proactively reaching out to some of the neighborhood associations that I work with in this district.
And there was a discussion about having this presentation at the CPAAA, and so that's the Citizens, what does it stand for? Like Alumni Association, got two of the A's in there, there's another A. But they were interested in potentially having somebody come and speak with them.
So I'll take that one and the PowerPoint whenever you have it. Early next month.
Early next week, yes.
I just kind of emailed the whole CRB with that link. That way everybody gets it. It's that way you have the different types. It's just the Center for Justice, and it talks about the different types of citizen reports. So I think it's great, and I really appreciate you putting all that work into it. I'm gonna be getting on the agenda for DAB 2, so we've got what, DAB 6 and 2. Does anybody wanna volunteer to get 1, 3, 4, and 5?
That was done in
Oh, 5.
April.
Okay, 1, 3, 4.
I can get one.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, 3.
4. Yes, look at this progress we're making. So at least we've got all the DABs taken care of. We can just push it out there and let Wynn was the other contact. If you, or Greg, if you want to email Wichita Independent Neighborhoods and let them know it's just a resource. We can either request a speaker or we can just provide information.
That was, which is our independent neighborhoods.
So for the PowerPoint, do you guys want a talking head or just a voiceover? Somebody wants to be the face, I guess is the question. I have the ability to do that, but I also have a speech to text that I use so we can throw in a script, and there's some mostly natural sounding voices.
I think as long as there's captions on it, whether there's someone actually talking or not, doesn't matter as long as there's captions.
So I can get that created probably in the next month. It's gonna get kind of crazy, but I will try to have something available for everyone to review and voiceover.
And if you can add the 3 types to it, what was the other thing?
It was the 3 types,
what it is
what
and
we
what
can
it
and
isn't.
can't do, and then there was one other suggestion that I can't remember, but I have.
If you can send us or just email them whatever the latest one is to CRB, I'll schedule my DAB once I get that.
Okay.
And maybe you guys, that gives you time to kind of reach out to
Does
your
that email
ones.
need to go through Ms. Rice? or-
Any of us can email CRB. It's just an easy way for us to not,
Oh, okay,
as long as nobody replies, we're not messing anything up.
okay, that was I think kind of my question was, where does that lie?
Correct, Jennifer? Nice. Okay. All right, any other board members' comments or questions before we move into our executive session? I move, oh wait, how long do you think that's a lot of numbers? That's the question.
We're not doing all this, are we?
30 minutes, okay.
Some.
They're all-
I think you should make it kind of just overview of each one. I think you could say that.
Saying all, every case number?
No, but just because we're not going into deep dives.
Yeah, so there's not a full-blown executive session on each one of them.
These were grouped by topic, which topic is this?
They weren't grouped by topic. This is the entire list
Oh.
of what's open. With like a executive summary, if you will, on each one of them.
Okay,
As in you've put together executive summary on, or
Yeah, it's not as in-depth as usual because I covered all of them, but it'll give you a much better look at what each one is.
so we can, if we so choose, pull cases out for deeper review.
Correct.
I like that, actually. I think that's smart.
There's really wasn't a better way to get us. above water.
That, I move that the citizen group board recess into executive session for 30 minutes to review information relating to 20 PSB 4557, 22 PSB 4215, 23 PSB 2583, 23 PSB 3648, 22 PSB 6961, 23 PSB 5515, 23 PSB 0010, 23 PSB 1669, 23 PSB 5706, 23 PSB 5154, 23 PSB 2166, 24 PSB 0680, 24 PSB 1886, 24 PSB 2029, 24 PSB 2111, 24 PSB 3525, 25 PSB 0096, 25 PSB 0656, 25 PSB 001, 25 PSB 0634, 25 PSB 1077, 25 PSB 1488, 25 PSB 1551, 25 PSB 1622, 25 PSB 1489, 24 PSB 5189, 25 PSB 1117, and 25 PSB 1268 pursuant to KSA 7543-119B2 to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel. Did I get that right? Okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Great. Okay, so we were unable to complete our review, we are gonna go back into executive session.
Got 12
It's another 30 minutes, probably, okay. I move that citizens report recesses to executive session for 30 minutes to review information relating to PSV cases 25 PSV 0096, 25 PSV 0656, 25 PSV 0081, 25 PSV 0634, 25 PSV 1077, 25 PSV 1488, 25 PSV 1551, 25 PSV 1622, 25 PSV 1489, 24 PSV 5158, 25 PSV 1117, and 25 PSV 1268 pursuant to KSA 754319B2 to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel. Is there a second? Is there a second?
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
and allowed us to make decisions. So we are back from executive session. We have decided to take action on 2 cases for further review and to review 2 policies. The majority of the cases, we decided to take no action on after reviewing them, so. We are at the end of our agenda, and unless we'd like to make a motion on those 2 policies, which I don't know the policy numbers now, we can motion to adjourn.
Before we
Have
move to
anything else?
adjournment, I just want, just to make sure we're consistent with the agenda, just to briefly discuss what's on next month's agenda.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, what I have listed is Brady Giglio training and traffic safety data. If there was anything else missed or anything that I need to send out to the board for review prior to the next month.
On the agenda, we'll wanna have time for review of this discussion before it goes to the
Yes, so we'll make sure that we add a review of the, under, it won't be new business, so I guess let's do it under board agenda on B, which is kind of at the end, but make sure that we add our motion to review those 2 policies, and under new business for case review, we'll add those 2 cases. And then we don't have any cases to review.
I mean, we have the ones listed, but we pushed those to September.
The new ones.
Yeah,
So can we review one of the cases then, or do I need to make a motion for a specific case? Okay, are you guys okay with just that first one, 23 PSB 0010, we review that case next meeting? Okay,
Such West will look at it.
in September.
now,
What was that number? 23 PSB 0010 for review.
These 2 policies.
We don't know the policy number, but one is gonna be policy around when ICT 1 and or mental health, or what the policy would be around that. And then the policy around the juvenile, interview, I don't know what policy that would be under, but.
so, Captain Cooley, is there a way that I don't know those policy numbers, normally I can Google search them. If there's is there, like, can I just Google search mental health? Or can you email those
I'll
to me?
email them to you.
Okay,
And is it different with an SRO in a building versus a police officer being called in?
First rows are in high school, so they'll be on.
So they
It's not-
would be,
Yeah, they're still governed by the same policy. Is it? Are they working more closely with the school to handle stuff? Yes, so there is some differences there, but policy still, yeah.
Oh, and then one last question, on 23 PSB 1669, can you just let us know whether it was
Yeah.
okay, perfect.
and there's,
Thank you.
Brady Giglio training, it's Brady Giglio's policy, correct?
I think if there's a policy that goes with that training, yeah, we would wanna review that policy before we take the training.
And then the traffic safety was just the data.
And I should hopefully have an answer from the city manager's office about when we can expect those annual reviews from Dr. Bruce's office to start.
And I will email all citizens.
Thank you, Greg, you're doing an awesome job. Motion to adjourn. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, bye.
are we the 28th?